right, restaurant owners, there are 3 little words that can flood your business with customers. And I'm not talking about free dessert Fridays or bottomless breadsticks forever. Well, those are tempting. These words are the key to filling your tables, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And I'll give you the ultimate playbook. 10 super simple tactics that you can use to own those 3 words, and they're all totally free. Plus, I'll add 3 bonus strategies at the end of this video that might cost a little bit, but nothing compared to what you're probably already spending on advertising. 62% of diners use Google to figure out where to eat. That's millions upon millions of people that are asking Google to tell them where to spend their money when they're hungry. So let's make sure that your restaurant is Google's favorite answer. And that brings me to the reveal. Your 3 magic words are restaurants near me. If you understand how to leverage those 3 words well in Google searches, you'll have so much traffic, your competition will honestly think you're doing something illegal. Okay, so let me show you something. Grab your phone and go to Google and start tapping in the word restaurants. Now, pay attention to the autofill suggestions. You know what Google comes up and thinks that you're trying to search for? Most of the time, Google will suggest some form of restaurants near me as one of the suggestions. That's because people are typing in near me has grown by over 900% in just the last few years. Now, before you put your phone away, take a look at the rest of the autofill suggestions that came up. Notice how many of them have something to do with location. That's Google telling you what they dish up to people standing where you are. And if you want to know a trick, go stand in your restaurant and repeat what you did. Tap restaurant into a Google search on your phone. Write everything down that shows up with the autofill. Then go to your competitor's parking lot and do the same thing. Write down all of the autofill results that Google gives you. It's almost like Google has hidden the golden goose right in plain sight. Everything that shows up in the autofill from Google is a keyword that you want to pay attention to, and I'll show you what to do with those in just a minute. Did you know that more people do a Google search on their phone every day than brush their teeth? I know, right? 8.5 billion searches every day. That's more people than there are on planet Earth. And if you're not showing up when people get out their phone and tap in restaurants near me, you might as well be invisible. On the flip side though, if you are the one they see, you'll have more attention than you know what to do with. And so these aren't just tire kickers. People who search restaurants near me, they're ready to eat out, and they're ready to eat out right now. They're also proven more likely to leave you a positive review if they have a good experience. So I have a whole video coming out on how to get 5-star Google reviews, which is also huge for your restaurant. Subscribe to get that when it drops. But for now, let's dive in, and I'll go really quick through these 10 things you can do to make restaurants near me your restaurant's best friend. Number 1, claim your Google business profile and fill it out completely. This is the equivalent of making sure your restaurant's open sign is turned on. Head over to Google Business Profile, claim your listing, and fill it out like your livelihood depends on it, because it kind of does. Add your hours, your phone number, your address, your website, and a killer description. Bonus points for throwing in your best keywords like cozy Italian bistro or award-winning barbecue spot. Plus, the more photos that you can put in, the better. Google is a friend to you as a small independent business owner, and they want you to be found. And so the more you give Google to work with, the more they'll become your secret weapon. Number 2, put a reminder on your calendar to at least visit and update your Google profile every month. Here's a fun fact. Google loves fresh ingredients just as much as your customers do. Fresh content is Google's drug. Post updates about holiday events, hours, special dishes, new menu items, fun things that happened at your restaurant. Maybe stay away from cat videos. But just about anything else that a potential customer might find useful. Think of it like a mini social media feed for your restaurant. Businesses that update their profiles regularly are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable by customers. And Google pays an almost creepy level of attention to what customers think. So regular fresh updates on your Google business profile are like gold. And they don't need to be complex or fancy, just useful or interesting to somebody who might be looking for a place to eat. Number 3, add driving directions to your Contact Us page. Help Google help you by including zip codes and turn-by-turn directions on your site, including road names. Why? The more geo breadcrumbs you leave, the more Google can latch onto and make it easier for people and search engines to find you. The reason to add driving directions actually has less to do with most people actually using them. Most people are going to use GPS on their phone, but it does give Google a whole bunch of street names and other geographical information to store away and use when someone is on those streets and looking for a meal and there's not a restaurant nearby. Number 4, make your phone number and address clickable. Repeat after me. I will never, never, never put my restaurant's address, phone number, or other location information into an image. It's much harder for Google to crawl images, so no matter how amazing it looks, your contact information should never be trapped in a fancy image like some digital hostage. Use text that customers and Google can crawl and interact with. Bonus points if your phone number is clickable directly so that people can call you straight from their phones. Number 5, ask your customers for reviews and make sure to respond to them. So here's the deal. 88% of people trust online reviews as much as they do personal recommendations when it comes to food. And over 90% will read 3 reviews before they'll try out a new eatery. So when a happy customer leaves your restaurant, kindly nudge them to leave a review. And when they do, respond. Thank the happy ones and handle the cranky ones with grace. It's all about showing that you care, and Google loves engaged restaurant owners. Number 6, check that your NAP info is exactly the same everywhere. NAP stands for name, address, phone number. Make sure that this info is consistent across your website, Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, and every other corner of your internet. So here's what I mean by that. If your address says 123 Main Street with street spelled out on one site and 123 Main Street with street being ST on another, update it to be the same everywhere. And here's another hint. Go into Google Maps and see the exact address format that they use when giving directions to your restaurant. Update all of your addresses to be that exact format. So for example, if Google says 1234 Main Street spelled out, you spell out Main Street. If it has USA at the end of the address, you have USA at the end of the address. Trust me, Google will tell you what to do to make them your ally, so do it. Number 7, pepper your content with local keywords. Think like a customer. There are qualifiers and there are quantifiers when making decisions. Qualifiers are just yes or no, either it qualifies or it doesn't. Quantifiers are things like price, reputation, atmosphere, stuff like that that customers only think about for restaurants that already qualify. So why do I tell you this? What's the number 1 qualifier? Well, I'm glad you asked. Location. You might have the greatest nachos in the charted universe, and I might be a nacho fiend who just got back from eating only vitamin pills after a 10-year stint on the International Space Station. If I'm ready to eat nachos now, and you're 8 hours from wherever I happen to be, you don't qualify. I don't even care that you exist. So wherever appropriate, add location and other qualifier information into your website, and instead of generic terms like great food or great atmosphere, go with stuff like best breakfast for miles around Washington Park in downtown Denver, or late night tacos in Austin, Texas. Also, here's another trick, probably won't hurt, and that is to rename some of your images on your website to have location info in the file name. So instead of just menu.jpg, try pasta restaurant menu Seattle downtown.jpg instead. If Google uses everything we give them, then I say do it. Okay, number 8, embed a Google map onto your website. This one is super simple. Add a Google map to your contact page. Not only does this make it easier for customers to find you, but Google also gives you bonus points for it. It's like telling the search engine, hey Google, we're friends, right? Well, we got a special spot for you here at our place and you can go tell all your other friends to come over for a visit. All right, number 9, build a menu page and keep it updated. 80% of people check a restaurant's menu online before deciding to visit, so have a dedicated menu page that's easy to navigate and up to date. Use a simple website template so that you can make changes without needing to have a computer science degree. One of the simplest ways, if you don't already have one, is a WordPress template, or even just modify a WordPress blog so that you can update your menu without having to code anything. And there's a bunch of drag and drop tools that restaurants can use to keep an online menu up to date. Use one and Google will like you more. Number 10, publish stuff that makes sense. When you set up your Google business profile, don't try to cheat. Pick categories that reflect what you do. If you're a food truck that serves seafood, don't list yourself as fine dining unless you also serve lobster with a side of caviar and own the beach that you're parked on. If you serve pizza, don't think, well, I serve ribs, but people who are considering pizza would be happier with my ribs. Google is very smart, so be specific and accurate with your offering and your location on Google Business, and Google will reward you for doing so. Now for a few bonus tactics that might not be free, but they're super affordable and they're really effective. Bonus number 1, cheap keywords to beat the competition. Google Ads can be your best friend if you know how to play the game. Skip the pricey generic keywords like restaurant in Texas and go for niche ones like best barbecue in Austin. Also, Buy your competitors' names as keywords. When people search for them, your restaurant will pop up too. Sneaky? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. And here's another secret. Remember when we did the Google autofill thing a little bit earlier? Here's where you're going to play that card. Go purchase the keywords for the location-specific autofill suggestions that Google gave you. Most of the time, they're going to be dirt cheap. And with that autofill, Google's told you what people are searching for when they're near you and near your competition. Okay, bonus number 2, hire a pro to take mouth-watering photos. High-quality food photos are a game changer. Customers are 42% more likely to interact with your profile if you have vivid images. Good photography pays for itself so fast. And let's be honest, nothing screams, "Don't eat here," like a crappy faded picture of some dish that looks like it's a health violation from years ago. Invest in some really stunning photos of your restaurant and your food. Bonus number 3, buy local domain names and set up landing pages. For like $5 a year, you can buy domain names on like GoDaddy or others. Take the best location-based suggestions that apply to your restaurant and go buy those domain names. It's okay if they're long names. Google indexes domain names to get a clue about your business. So think breakfastsantaquinutah.com or tacotruckdallastexas.com or seafoodchicagodowntown.com. It's best to create really simple landing pages with those domain names and not just point them straight to your website. And so if you create a little landing page that has your menu on them and some contact info, then those are things that Google can track and point business to you. And there you have it. 10 free tactics and some bonus strategies that you could use to make restaurants near me work for you. These steps aren't just smart, they're essential for thriving in today's competitive restaurant world. Don't try to do everything. Pick 1 or 2 of the simple tactics that you know that you can do quickly and start there. And then build up as each one adds a little bit of momentum. Every small improvement gets you closer to packed tables and happy diners. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button and share your favorite strategy in the comments because it helps the channel and I sincerely appreciate it.